Friday greetings and welcome to this week's last edition of Primetime News with me, Michael Madimba. In tonight's top story, Windhoek Mayor Dr. Job Ampanda has said the absence of a substantive chief executive officer as head of administration for the city has a negative impact on the council's transformational journey.
Windhoek Mayor Job Ampanda said the City Council is busy planting seeds of transformation, which requires the whole leadership and everybody working for the municipality to work at the same pace in order to bring about the change the council wants. However, a substantive chief executive officer is needed as head of administration to complement council efforts and implement service delivery projects like the adoption of pre-allocation of land to those who have been on the council's waiting list for years. He said they are in the process of recruiting a chief executive officer, a key functionary of the Municipal Council of Windhoek, who will assist conceptualize and implement developmental plans, but the absence of a substantive head of administration has a negative impact on the transformation journey. The mayor highlighted that part of the selection and vetting criteria for the chief executive officer position will require candidates to make public presentations and take questions from the public, which seeks to negate and eliminate the old culture of clandestine dealings and suspicious recruitment practices of senior executives. He urged councillors to remain vigilant and focused on the task at hand without being distracted by those against development and progress, because the masses are counting on them to address their plight, which is the reason they trusted their promises and voted them into their positions.
The supplementary registration of voters in the Katima Mlilo urban constituency in the Zambezi region has been concluded, registering 618 people, the Electoral Commission of Namibia ECN in the Zambezi region has said.
ECN's supervisor of registration in the Zambezi region, Clarina Diaz, told Nampa on Thursday that the registration process, which started on Monday, went well and they managed to register 618 people. Diaz said on Monday 102 people were registered, followed by 184 people on Tuesday, while 332 people were registered on Wednesday, bringing the total number of registered people to 618. The registration of the voters, which started on 21 June and ran until 23 June 2021, was held for the upcoming elections for the Katima Mulilo urban constituency that will take place on 25 August 2021. The elections will be held after the sitting councillor of that constituency, John Mochila Mukaya, died on 26 May 2021. Diaz further said most of the people that were registered are those that have relocated or moved to that constituency and those that turned 18 years old eligible to vote in the upcoming elections, noting that those that have lost cards or have damaged voters' cards were also issued new ones. In a media statement issued on Monday, ECN said the registration of voters exercise was being conducted in terms of the Regional Councils Act, which states that if a vacancy occurs in a particular constituency office, it is obliged in terms of the law to conduct a by-election in that particular constituency within 90 days from the date the vacancy has occurred.
While coronavirus COVID-19 cases are surging around the country, the Namibian Correctional Service NCS has managed to reduce the infection rate in its facilities, reporting only 4 active cases among inmates as of Tuesday morning this week.
Namibian Correctional Service Head of Central Staff Commissioner Sem Shalulange on Tuesday told Nampa while they are still experiencing a rising number of cases among administrative staff, cases among inmates have reduced drastically. He said currently there are 72 active cases among correctional officers, a number which he said is expected to rise as more contact persons get tested. Following the outbreak of the pandemic last year, the Namibian Correctional Service was among the institutions struggling to manage the spread of infections due to the confined living space of inmates, which made social distancing impossible. Since the outbreak, the Namibian Correctional Service has recorded 402 cases among inmates and 915 cases among officers. 5 officers and 3 inmates have thus far succumbed to the virus. In August 2020, when the Vento Correctional Facility recorded over 100 cases, Namibian Correctional Service Commissioner General Raphael Hamuniela was quoted as saying there was not much they could do in terms of measures to control the spread of infections in facilities as social distancing is impossible among inmates. Shalulange said their COVID-19 task team, health workers and the health ministry have since introduced stricter measures which have resulted in the reduction in cases in their facilities. Namibian Correctional Service has a vaccination site at the Vento Correctional Facility, and as of Tuesday, 739 first doses had been administered to 540 offenders and 199 officers, while 167 second doses have been administered to 105 offenders and 62 officers. Shalulange said they are in the process of rolling out more vaccination sites at other correctional facilities. Josephine Simeon, Nampa News.
Minister of Health and Social Services Dr. Kalumbi Shangula on Thursday said that unemployed nurses should approach his office for employment. Shangula said this whilst answering media questions during the handover ceremony of the first consignment of 21-ton tanks of oxygen by the private sector partnership led by the Namibia Chamber of Commerce and Industry NCCI to the Health and Social Services Ministry.
If you know of a nurse who is in-house not doing anything, bring him to me. You'll get a job immediately. The issue of understaffing is true. Because what happens is that you have, say you have 10 nurses on duty, and then all of a sudden 4 of them, they test positive for COVID-19. So that the 4 of them will go into isolation for a minimum of 10 days. Now during that time, the other 6 will not be able to go. So that is basically the type of shortage occurs because they also get it. If you follow my daily update, I always tell you how many health workers have been infected. So when they are infected, they will no longer be able to provide the service. But then they leave a gap from what they are doing. So that load which they were supposed to be done will then be done by the remaining 6.
Stand by for your top roundup. In our business and economics news, we begin with our northern neighbor, where the Angolan National Diamond Trading Company held an online auction for its production of rough diamonds, according to a press release issued by the company on Thursday.
The auction was the largest in terms of participation and value collected, with tenders bidding for production of rough diamonds in the Uwari, Lulo, Katoka, and Luele mines. The valuation of bids took place from June 9 to June 23, and the bids were submitted electronically, the company said. At least 50 companies from the world's main diamond markets presented their bids online for the auction. Founded in 1999, the company is responsible for marketing Angola's diamond production.
South African power utility Eskom today said it would implement a 1.5% salary increase from July the 1st, 2021 and adjust some employee benefits, defying union demands for a far larger hike.
Wage talks between the unions and Eskom, which is struggling to power Africa's most industrialized nation and is choking under a mountain of debt, ended this month without agreement, and arbitration is yet to start. Eskom's offer is dependent on savings from benefits including overtime and travel, where the state-owned utility says it has found excesses. Unions rejected the offer after demanding increases of between 9.5% and 15%, well above South Africa's current level of annual inflation of around 5%. A previous pay dispute in 2018 led to electricity supply interruptions, and Eskom has warned the same could happen again. Eskom said in today's statement that its salary offer would allow it to protect jobs and manage risks and sustainability. Eskom said in today's statement that its salary offer would allow it to protect jobs and manage risks to its sustainability.
We will be back shortly after the business and economics roundup. We've come to the end of the top news installment for this evening. Kindly stand by for your sports update with Selima Chmwefeleni. Take it away, Selima.
Thank you, Michael. Good evening and welcome to Sport Planet. The Namibia Rugby Union has appointed former South Africa Stormers and Eastern Province rugby coach Alistair Coetzee as head coach of the national team with immediate effect. His contract will run until the 2023 Rugby World Cup scheduled for France.
In a statement to the media, NRU President Corey Menza said the NRU believes that Coetzee will assist in realizing the union's goal of not only qualifying for the next World Cup, but that the national team competes at the highest level and does not only participate. Menza said, as the rugby community of Namibia, we welcome Coetzee and trust that together we will take Namibian rugby to greater heights. The NRU will support Alistair by creating the most conducive environment in order to successfully coach the national senior team and to deliver on expectations. Menza said Coetzee's salary will be covered by the NRU. Meanwhile, Coetzee in the statement said he was grateful for the opportunity and was looking forward to meeting the squad and getting started. Coetzee's first task will be to coach the team during the forthcoming Rugby Africa Gold Cup Pool A tournament slated for Ivory Coast from the 3rd to the 11th of July 2021. The Namibia national team, Madagascar and Ivory Coast will participate in a tournament that will see the best two teams of each of the four pools qualify for the Rugby Africa Cup 2022 Top 8, which will serve as the final Rugby World Cup 2023 qualification event.
Namibian road cyclist and mountain biker Vera Luza, who is currently riding for Canadian-based team Instafund Racing, said she is looking forward to the upcoming Olympic Games.
The cyclist who represented Namibia at the 2014 and 2018 Commonwealth Games and the 2016 Summer Olympics in Brazil told Nampa on Thursday that the postponement of the 2020 Olympic Games to this year gave her ample time to prepare. She said, "One cannot be prepared enough though, but at some point it has to come. I am in good shape because the games being moved to this year was actually in my favor, as I've had a year to train longer and I'm definitely better prepared now than I was a year ago." Lusa, who has won the Namibian National Time Trial Championships on 6 occasions, the Namibian National Road Race Championships on 9 occasions and 8 years consecutively between 2014 and 2021, stated that she is stronger than she has ever been.
Your sports roundup is up next. And with that, we've come to the end of this week's bulletin. We thank you for tuning in. As always, give us a thumbs up and share. If you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe, as well as click on the notifications bell to stay up to date on the latest happenings locally and globally. Do make a date with us next week, Monday. Once more, we urge the Namibian public to continue adhering to the stipulated health guidelines and protocols pertaining to the COVID-19 virus. From myself, Salima Shimwe-Feleni, and the entire crew behind the scenes, wishing you a safe and fantastic weekend. It's good night.